Chef Boulud, thank you so much for coming back on our show. I want to just ask, what do you think?
Thank you, Lisa. Good morning.
Good morning. What do you think the New York restaurant scene will look like post-pandemic?
Well, right now, we are trying to imagine that it will come back to a normalcy with some tweaking toward that. But we really, right now, we are really struggling. Every restaurateur is struggling all over the country, especially in the northern part, with the fact that they have to deal with the cold weather and the outdoor still active. At Daniel, for example, we build private bungalows, heated bungalows, insulated. It's fantastic. People really love that. But it's still not a business model. And also at 25%, it's not a business model. So are we going to go back at 100% once we are back in business? I don't know. But right now, it's important to save jobs. It's important to support the community as well. And it is very important to encourage people to be able to go out and feel comfortable as well.
Chef, we were talking with our Sonali Basak earlier about Goldman Sachs and how they're thinking of moving some of their operations, at least the headquarters of them, to Florida. And there has been this feeling that perhaps some of the financial industry will move away from New York City and at least reduce business lunches and other types of events. How concerned are you about that longer term for the prospects of the higher end New York City restaurant scene?
Well, it will always exist, and I think New York City will always have a vibrant business support by restaurant support by business. But we'll see. We'll deal with it. But there'll be certainly also company taking the opportunity to come to New York City, and I think New York City will be back to what New York City was for sure. Will it take a year, 5 years, 10 years? But I am optimistic about New York City, of course. New York City is the biggest city in the world when it comes to doing business and banking, of course. It's also a very prominent city for that. I hope the fine dining will, and all kind of dining, because really they support everything. I mean, from the staff supporting the little to-go or even fast casual to the fine dining, everyone get impacted.
Yeah.
And but right now, corporate city, what they should do if they want to support restaurants, they should buy a gift certificate. They should buy a gift to their employees, to their business people. They are not doing any corporate party. So at least we do a lot of gift to clients through that with our system we have developed with Daniel Boulud Kitchen.
Oh, nice, to deliver it to their homes in a way, instead of having a collective kind of dinner. There is also a question of creative destruction, this idea of restaurateurs that that have had to shutter some of their restaurants, whether they actually see this as a really good opportunity to begin thinking about their return, especially as rents go down. Have you heard about that kind of activity?
Of course, thousands of restaurants, thousands and thousands of restaurants have closed all over the country, and many are not going to quit. No one wants to quit. So for some, they are surviving, and for some, they are thinking of what should be the strategy next. And for me, I've only opened half of my business in New York City, and still I have to think of the strategy of reopening the rest of it. We are waiting also in New York to get back to normal with Lincoln Center and Broadway and the tourists, and everything will make that city vibrant and active, and certainly the city we have known.
So going forward, I know that you've been really involved in a number of initiatives to try to help both restaurants as well as some of the first responders. Can you give us a sense of where you are on that?
Well, of course, we have founded 7.5 months ago Food First Foundation with my partner, Mark Holiday at SL Green. And we have distributed almost to the end of December, 500,000 meals to New Yorkers in 25 different locations over Manhattan. and the 5 boroughs, hospitals and food shelters, and of course also homeless shelter as well. And I support also City Meal on Wheels, where myself I've produced about 200,000 meals so far to the elderly New Yorker as well through Food First. So this is one of the initiatives, but many of my colleagues, chefs as well, have been really on the forefront of supporting their cities and trying to really, I mean, when there is a charity, the first one who get called is the chef. The second, maybe the entertainer. Yeah. And so here we are frontline again to make sure that we support our community.
Chef Boulud, just before I let you go, when you're alone, do you actually cook elaborate meals for yourself?
I like the one-pot meal where
join the club.
It takes me half an hour. But it's a process. You start by what take the longest and give the most flavor to what will take the least and maybe just give a particular texture to it. And of course, always a pinch of spice inside.
Always.
I have a young chef who used to work for me. I have a business called La Boîte aux Épices, and he's doing an amazing array of spice already mixed. So you always have a pinch of that, and it makes the dish wonderful.
Thank you so much, Chef Boulud.